My girlfriend posted "single and moving on" Instagram 10 minutes after we argued about the dishes. I liked the post and commented, "Great, the locks are changed." She was standing outside in the rain 20 minutes later, realizing I wasn't bluffing. Original post: I, 29 male, am sitting here listening to my girlfriend, 27, pounding on my apartment door in the rain, and honestly, I'm just tired. This whole thing started 3 hours ago over something so stupid, I can barely believe we're here. Dishes. Literal dishes in the sink. She'd been staying at my place for the past 8 months. Not officially moved in, she kept her own apartment across town that her parents helped pay for. But she was here maybe 5 nights a week, using my place like a second home. Which was fine. I didn't mind. Thought we were building toward something. Tonight I got home from a 10-hour shift. I'm a project manager at a construction firm, been pulling overtime on this hospital renovation. Walked in exhausted, saw the sink full of dishes. Again. 3rd time this week. "Hey, could you maybe do the dishes after you use them? I'm pretty wiped." Simple request, right? Wrong. She was on the couch scrolling her phone. Didn't even look up. "I'll get to it later." "You said that yesterday, and the day before." Now she looked up, annoyed. "Oh my God, are you seriously starting this right now? I've had a stressful day. I've been working since 6 a.m., just asking you to clean up after yourself. You're being controlling." I said I'll do it later. Something in me just snapped. Not explosively, more like a switch flipping off. "You know what? I'm not doing this anymore." "Doing what?" She rolled her eyes. Literally rolled her eyes at me. "This. Us? I'm tired of feeling like I'm your dad reminding you to do basic stuff." She laughed. Actually laughed. "You're breaking up with me over dishes? That's pathetic. It's not about the dishes. It's about respect. Or the lack of it." She stood up, grabbed her purse. "Whatever, I don't need this right now. I'm out." "Cool, take your stuff with you." "I'm not packing right now. I'll get it tomorrow." "No, take it now." She looked at me like I was crazy. "It's my stuff. It'll be here tomorrow. Stop being dramatic." Then she left. Slammed the door. I heard her car start up, drive away. I sat there for maybe 5 minutes. Then my phone buzzed. Instagram notification. She'd posted a story. Opened it. A selfie in her car. Full makeup even though she'd been having a stressful day. Caption: "Single and moving on. Sometimes you gotta drop the dead weight. Self-love, know your worth." I stared at it. The audacity was almost impressive. She really thought she was ending things. Thought she was in control. Thought she could publicly dump me and then come back tomorrow for her stuff, like nothing happened. I liked the post. Then commented, "Great, the locks are changed. Good luck with that moving on thing." Logged into my building's app. Changed the digital entry code for my unit. Takes about 30 seconds. New 6-digit code. Done. Went to the kitchen. Started doing those dishes she'd left. Felt good, actually. Therapeutic. My phone started blowing up. First her friends. Then her. Calls, texts, ignored all of it. Took my time with those dishes. Really got them clean. 20 minutes later the pounding started. She's outside my door. I can hear her through it. Open the door. "This isn't funny." I walked over, spoke through the door. "Your post said you're single, so good luck with your new single life. Are you serious right now? It's raining. Let me in." "It's drizzling. You'll survive. My stuff is in there." "Yeah, about that. You can arrange a time to pick it up during daylight hours with advance notice." "You can't do this." "Actually, I can. It's my apartment, my lease, my locks. You're being insane over a stupid Instagram post." "Nope, I'm being serious about you dumping me. You wanted to be single. Congratulations." More pounding. "I didn't mean it. I was upset." "Cool, you can be upset at your own place, the one your parents pay for." Silence. Then, "I don't have my keys. They're inside." Should have thought of that before posting on social media that you're single and moving on. People are gonna think you're psycho. People are gonna see you publicly dumped me and I took you seriously. That's on you. I heard her talking to someone on the phone. Probably one of her friends. More pleading through the door. I went back to my living room, turned on Netflix, and cranked up the volume. She stayed out there for about an hour. Eventually left. My phone's still blowing up, but I'm just done. 8 months of her using my place like a hotel, leaving messes, taking zero responsibility, and then publicly humiliating me because I asked her to do dishes? Nah. She wanted to move on? She can move on without access to my apartment. Update 1. It's been 3 days. The fallout has been something. That first night, after she finally left my doorstep, I got about 50 texts from her and her friends. Everything from "you're being abusive" to "this is financial abuse" to "you can't just lock someone out of their home." Except it wasn't her home. It was mine. Solely mine. My name on the lease, my furniture, my security deposit, my everything. The next morning, I woke up to find she'd posted another Instagram story. This time, it was a screenshot of our text thread, heavily edited to make her look innocent, with a caption about "toxic men who can't handle strong women." Whatever. Let her spin her narrative. She showed up at my building that afternoon. Building manager called me. "Your girlfriend is in the lobby saying you stole her belongings." She's not my girlfriend. She made that clear on Instagram. And I didn't steal anything. Her stuff is here. She can arrange a time to get it. She's causing a scene. Then call security. I'll be down in 20 minutes. Went down to the lobby. She was there with 2 of her friends, both giving me death glares. Finally, she said, "Give me my keys." I changed the locks. "Your keys don't work anymore." "Then give me the new code." "Why would I do that? You're single now, remember?" Her friend stepped up. "Dude, you're being a total jerk. Just let her get her stuff." "I'm not stopping her from getting her stuff. She can arrange a time, like I said. Her stuff is in your apartment. You can't hold it hostage." "I'm not. I'm setting boundaries." Big difference. My girlfriend, ex-girlfriend, was getting red in the face. "This is ridiculous. I'm calling the police." "Go ahead." She did, right there in the lobby. "Put it on speaker." The dispatcher asked what the emergency was. "My boyfriend locked me out of our apartment and won't let me get my belongings." The dispatcher asked if her name was on the lease. She hesitated. "Well, no, but is this a domestic violence situation? Are you in danger?" "No, but he's being." "Ma'am, if you're not in danger and your name isn't on the lease, this is a civil matter. You'll need to coordinate with him to retrieve your belongings or seek legal counsel." Her face. God, her face was priceless. The dispatcher continued. "Has he destroyed or stolen your property?" She looked at me. I shook my head. "No," she admitted quietly. "Then I recommend you two work out a time for you to collect your things. If you can't come to an agreement, you may need to pursue this through small claims court. Have a good day." Click. The lobby was silent. Even her friends looked uncomfortable. "Tomorrow," I said, "between 2 and 4 p.m., I'll have everything boxed up by the door. You get 1 trip. Bring whoever you want to help carry, but you don't come inside. You take what's yours from the doorway and leave." That's the offer. Take it or leave it. She looked like she wanted to argue more, but her friends were already pulling her toward the exit. One of them whispered something to her. They left. I went back upstairs, spent the evening boxing her stuff. Clothes, toiletries, that stupid decorative pillow collection she'd accumulated. Her laptop charger, some books, a yoga mat she'd used exactly twice. Everything fit into 5 medium boxes and 2 bags. Found some interesting things while packing. A receipt from a restaurant I'd never been to, dated from 2 weeks ago. Expensive place. $180 bill for 2 people. She'd told me she was having a girls' night that evening. Another receipt. Parking stub from a hotel downtown. Same week, she said she was visiting her sister. I took pictures of both. Didn't know what I'd do with them, but figured documentation might be useful. That night, I got a text from her mom. First time we'd communicated in months. "What is going on? My daughter is devastated. She says you kicked her out over nothing." I sent her the screenshot of the Instagram post. She dumped me publicly. I took her seriously. Now she's upset about the consequences. She didn't mean it. She was emotional. She's 27 years old enough to mean what she posts on social media. "You're being cruel." She has nowhere to go. She has her own apartment, the one you helped pay for. No response after that. The next day, 2 p.m. on the dot, she showed up with her 2 friends and her younger brother. I had all her stuff lined up in the hallway outside my door. Opened it just enough to see them. "It's all there. Take it and go." "I need to check and make sure you didn't take anything." "Check from here. You're not coming in." She started going through boxes right there in the hallway, pulling things out, making a mess. Her brother looked embarrassed. "Where's my straightener?" she demanded. "The pink one? In the bag on the left." "My laptop? You took that with you when you left 3 days ago." Oh, right. She kept digging, looking for something to complain about. Finally, her friend said, "Come on, let's just go. We've been here for 20 minutes. Wait, where's my jewelry box? The wooden one? That's mine. You borrowed it." "No, it's not. That's mine. I bought it at an estate sale 2 years ago, before we even met. It's staying." "You're stealing from me." I pulled out my phone, showed her a photo from my camera roll, me holding the jewelry box the day I bought it, time-stamped, dated 18 months before we started dating. Her face fell. "Anything else you want to falsely accuse me of?" Silence. They loaded up and left. Her brother mumbled, "Sorry, man," as they walked past with the last box. Decent kid. I closed the door, locked it, felt like I could finally breathe. Update 2. Week 2 has been a masterclass in entitlement. First, she tried the guilt angle. Long texts about how I was the love of her life and she made a mistake and can we please just talk. I responded once, "You made your feelings clear on Instagram. Move on like you said you would." Then she switched to anger. Called me controlling, emotionally abusive, a narcissist. Said I was gaslighting her by taking her social media posts seriously. The irony was lost on her. Her friends started DMing me. One told me I destroyed her mental health and should be ashamed. Another said I was toxic and manipulative. A third sent me a 3-paragraph essay about how real men communicate instead of playing games. I blocked them all. Not worth my energy. But here's where it got interesting. Friday evening, I got a call from my building's front desk. "Sir, there's someone here who claims she's your girlfriend and needs to be let up. She says she left something important in your unit. She's not my girlfriend and she got all her stuff last week. Don't let her up. She's insisting. If she won't leave, call the police for trespassing." Heard some yelling in the background. Then the call ended. 10 minutes later, my door buzzer rang. Then again, and again. She was buzzing every unit in the building trying to get someone to let her up. I called building security. They escorted her out. Told her she was no longer welcome on the property without my explicit permission. Saturday morning I woke up to discover she'd filed a police report claiming I was withholding her property. 2 officers showed up at my door around 10 a.m. "Sir, we have a report that you're refusing to return your ex-girlfriend's belongings." I returned everything last week. She picked it up with witnesses present. She claims there are still items inside. Like what? The officer checked his notes. She mentioned a toothbrush, some hair products, and a sweater. I almost laughed. A toothbrush that costs $3? She filed a police report over a toothbrush? Is it here? Probably in the bathroom trash where I threw it after she left, along with any other toiletries she abandoned. Want me to dig through my garbage for it? The officer looked at his partner. They both looked tired. What about the sweater? She took all her clothes. If she left something, that's on her. She had an hour to go through 5 boxes and took everything. And the hair products? If she left anything, it's because she didn't think it was important enough to take. I'm not running a storage facility. The older officer closed his notepad. "Sir, did you damage or intentionally withhold any of her property?" "No. She got everything she took seriously when packing. Anything left behind is abandoned property at this point." "All right, we'll note that in our report." "Ma'am," he spoke into his radio, "he's provided explanation. Unless you have proof of significant property value being withheld, this remains a civil matter." I heard her voice through his radio, shrill, angry. He winced and turned down the volume. After they left, I actually did check the bathroom. Found her cheap drugstore shampoo and conditioner. A disposable razor. The toothbrush in the trash, like I said. Maybe $15 worth of stuff total. I took pictures, documented everything. Put it all in a box labeled with her name. If she wanted to play these games, I'd have receipts. Sunday afternoon her mom called. I almost didn't answer, but curiosity won. "You need to apologize to my daughter." "For what?" "For humiliating her. For treating her like this. She's been crying for 2 weeks. She posted on Instagram that she was single and moving on. I supported her decision. That's not humiliation, that's respect. She didn't mean it. It was just a post. Then she shouldn't post things she doesn't mean. Actions have consequences. She's young. She made a mistake. She's 27. That's old enough to mean what you say online. You're being vindictive. I'm being consistent. She wanted out. I let her out. Now she's mad she doesn't get to control the terms. She loves you. She had a funny way of showing it when she was going to fancy restaurants behind my back. Silence. Then, what are you talking about? I told her about the receipts I found. The hotel parking stub. The $180 dinner for two while I was working overtime. More silence. I'm sure there's an explanation. I'm sure there is, but it's not my problem anymore. She's single, remember? She can explain it to whoever she was with. Her mom hung up. Tuesday evening, this was yesterday, I got home to find a letter taped to my door. Hand-delivered, not mailed. From a lawyer. Opened it up. It was a demand letter from some attorney with an office in a strip mall. The whole thing was maybe 3 paragraphs of barely legal-sounding language demanding I, 1, return all of her property immediately. Which property? The $15 of toiletries? 2. Compensate her for emotional distress, $2,500. 3. Pay for her temporary housing costs while she recovered from the trauma, $1,800. 4. Provide a written apology or face legal action. I took a picture and sent it to my buddy who's a paralegal. He called me back laughing. Dude, this is the worst demand letter I've ever seen. It's not even on proper letterhead. You can tell they used a template. Is it legit? Technically, yes. Someone filed it, but it's junk. Emotional distress claims require proof of actual harm, like medical bills or therapy costs. She'd need to prove you did something intentionally malicious. Breaking up with someone isn't emotional distress, it's life. What about the housing costs? She has her own apartment. She can't claim you need to pay for housing she already has. This is ridiculous. Don't respond to it. If they actually file something, then deal with it. But I'd bet money this is just intimidation. What should I do? Nothing. Let it die. If you respond, you're acknowledging it. Just file it away in case she does something stupid. So that's where I am now. She's tried guilt, anger, false police reports, and now legal threats. All because she publicly ended things and I took her seriously. My friend at work said I should feel bad, that I'm kicking her while she's down. But here's the thing. She's not down because of me. She's down because she made a dramatic social media post to hurt me, then realized she'd actually need to live with those consequences. She thought she could have her moment of public humiliation against me, and then waltz back into my life when she was ready. That's not how respect works. That's not how relationships work. And honestly, I'm doing fine. My apartment's cleaner. My stress is lower. I'm not walking on eggshells around someone who treats basic requests like personal attacks. Still have her toiletries boxed up though, just in case she tries to claim I destroyed her property. Documentation for everything. Update 3. Final. It's been 6 weeks. Time for the final update. The demand letter went nowhere. No follow-up, no court papers, nothing. My paralegal buddy was right. It was just intimidation. Some budget lawyer who probably charged her $150 to print a template and mail it. But the drama didn't stop there. Week 3, she tried a new approach. Mutual friends. Started calling people we both knew, telling them her side of the story. How I kicked her out in the rain, it was drizzling. How I held her property hostage, she got everything. How I was emotionally abusive, I asked her to do dishes. Lost a few friends in that mess. People who took her word without asking mine. Honestly, good riddance. If you believe I'm abusive without even reaching out to me, you aren't really my friend anyway. The ones who did reach out got the full story. The Instagram post, the police calls, the demand letter. Most of them backed off after that. One mutual friend actually apologized to me, said she'd done the same thing to her ex 2 years ago. Dramatic social media post, then shocked when he took her seriously. Week 4, she showed up at my workplace. How she knew where my company's field office was? I don't know. Maybe she remembered from when I'd mentioned it months ago. Security called me. There's a woman at the front desk asking for you. Says it's personal. I looked at the camera feed. It was her. Dressed up, full makeup, holding a coffee cup. Tell her I'm not available. She says she'll wait. Tell her to leave or I'll file for a restraining order. She left. Got a text an hour later. Wow, you won't even talk to me after everything we had? I responded, you posted on Instagram that you were single and moving on. That was you ending everything we had. Stop contacting me. Her response, why are you being so cold? Me, I'm being consistent. You made a public declaration. I respected it. Move on like you said you would. She blocked me after that. Finally, Week 5 brought an interesting development. Remember those receipts I found? The restaurant and the hotel parking stub? Ran into her brother at a coffee shop. He approached me. "Hey man, can we talk for a minute?" We sat down. He looked uncomfortable. "Look, I wanted to say I'm sorry about all of this. My sister, she's got issues." "Yeah, I figured that out." "No, I mean, she's been doing this for years with every boyfriend. Creates drama, posts about it, then plays victim when guys get tired of it." "Why are you telling me this?" He sighed. "Because she won't stop talking about you." And I found out some stuff that, look, those receipts you mentioned to my mom, the restaurant and hotel, yeah? That was probably with this guy from her gym. She's been seeing him on and off for like 3 months. Pretty sure she was hedging her bets with you. My stomach dropped, not because I still cared about her, but because it confirmed what I'd suspected. Did she cheat? I don't know for sure. But, probably, she's been weird about her phone. Secretive. That's usually a sign. Does she know you're telling me this? Hell no, she'd kill me. But you seemed like a decent guy when we picked up her stuff. Figured you deserved to know you dodged a bullet. We talked for a bit more. He gave me more details. Apparently Gym Guy was one of several guys she'd been keeping warm while we were together. That Instagram post wasn't just dramatic. It was calculated. She thought she had Gym Guy lined up and ready so she could publicly dump me and move on to him. Except Gym Guy wasn't interested in anything serious. When she told him she was single now, he apparently told her he wasn't looking for a relationship. She tried to come back to me only to find the door, literally, locked. Her brother left with, "Sorry again, man. She won't leave you alone, but maybe this'll help explain why." It did. It explained everything. That was 2 weeks ago. Haven't heard from her since she blocked me. Her friends stopped messaging. The demand letter attorney never followed up. She stopped posting about toxic exes on Instagram. According to her brother, who's kept me loosely updated, she's now posting about healing and finding herself. The Gym Guy has apparently moved on to someone else. Her parents are pushing her to focus on her career. She still has her apartment, still has her same life, just without me as a safety net. As for me, I'm good, genuinely good. The apartment feels lighter without the constant tension. I'm not walking around worried about whether asking someone to pull their weight makes me controlling. Started seeing someone new about 2 weeks ago. Met her at a work thing, actually. She's an architect on one of our projects. Different vibe entirely. Mature, communicates, does her own dishes. We're taking it slow, but it's refreshing to be with someone who acts like an adult. Haven't told her the full story yet. Just said my last relationship ended kind of messily. She didn't pry. That's another green flag right there. My buddy who called me heartless for kicking her while she was down? He apologized last week, said he'd only heard her side initially and didn't realize how manipulative the whole situation was. We're good now. Financially, this whole thing cost me basically nothing. Changed some locks that needed changing anyway. Spent a few hours dealing with police and packing her stuff. Lost some acquaintances who weren't really friends, but gained clarity about what I won't tolerate in a relationship. The biggest lesson? Social media isn't a joke. You can't post something publicly and expect people to ignore it just because you were emotional or didn't mean it. Words have consequences. Actions have consequences. She wanted to publicly declare she was single and moving on? I took her at her word. She thought she could control the narrative, play games, and I'd just sit there and take it. Found out real quick that's not how I operate. People ask if I feel bad, if I went too far, if changing the locks was mean. Honestly, no. She's not homeless. She has her own place. She's not destitute. Her parents help her financially. She's not propertyless. She got all her stuff. She's not in danger. I never threatened or harmed her. She's just facing the reality that actions have consequences, and dramatic social media posts aren't without cost. She publicly ended our relationship in the most humiliating way possible, thinking I'd come crawling back. Instead, I took her seriously and moved on. That's not mean. That's self-respect. The one thing I do wonder sometimes, did she ever actually care about me? Or was I just convenient? The apartment she could use without paying rent. The guy who'd be there when her drama got old with other people. Her brother's comment about hedging her bets suggests the latter. And that stings a bit, not gonna lie. Nobody likes finding out they were backup plan. But better to find out 8 months in than 8 years in. So yeah, that's the story. Girl posted dramatic breakup on Instagram. Guy took her seriously. Girl shocked that consequences exist. It's not a fairy tale ending. It's not even particularly satisfying in a revenge way. It's just reality. She wanted to move on. She moved on. Just not the way she planned. And me? I moved on too. To someone who doesn't think asking them to clean up after themselves is controlling. To a life without constant drama. To an apartment where I'm not walking on eggshells. Is it perfect? No. I still sometimes get anxiety when my phone buzzes, worried it's her with some new demand or accusation. I'm more cautious now about who I trust and how quickly. The new relationship thing is going well, but I'm definitely more guarded than I used to be. But it's better. It's honest, and it's mine. To anyone dealing with similar situations, trust your gut. If someone publicly humiliates you, that's information. If someone treats your reasonable boundaries as attacks, that's information. If someone plays victim every time they face consequences, that's information. Use that information. Make decisions accordingly. And don't feel bad for taking people at their word when they tell you who they are. She posted single and moving on, and I said, cool, the locks are changed. Best decision I've made in a while.